Hey guys, it's Tiny Tom Logan back with another video for you, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Lian Li 011 Vision. Now, there's an awful lot of glass on this case, and it is one of the cases that I'm going to suggest is one not for the imagination, but you're going to need to use your imagination. It is going to be whatever you want to make out of it at home. Now, there are a couple of caveats, and I'm going to help you with the assistance of possible radiator choices, thicknesses, placements. Also, I've got a suggestion with fans as well. It's another Lian Li product, but they do reverse blade fans now, so I'll talk to you about that in a minute so that you can get everything looking tip top. But it is going to be one of those cases that you are going to have to take your time with to get the best out of it, because there is no hiding what's on the business side of this case. Now, normally with a case like this, it would cost an absolute fortune. Lots of glass, lots of clearness, radiator mounts. But the white one is going to be £145 and the black one is going to be £140. Yes, 145 and 140. Now, I always start at the top and at the front, but it's just glass. It is just a glass panel on the top. There's no fan mounts, there's nothing, but we'll look more at that in a minute, because what I do want to talk to you about while we're still on the front is the power button is here, and it's quite simple. It's functional. And then a little reset button around the side. Then down the bottom, down here, you've got a combined headphone and microphone port, USB-C, 2 USB-A's. I like the fact there are white internals on it as well for a white case. It pleases me greatly. And then there's not really much else for me to talk about. When we come around the side, you have a large magnetic dust filter. It does slide in, but it's got little magnetic tabs on it, so it locks itself into place. Now, with the case, obviously you can see lots of clear glass. It does have a very slight, when you zoom in, green hue to the glass, but that's to be expected. It's very rare that you'll ever find anything that is completely clear. And when you do get them, or get one, because I think quite a lot of you are going to buy it, they come with these little rubber bits on the edges, and that's just to stop it clanking around when it is in transport. Now, round the back, there is a 120mm fan mount here. You can see that you can slide the fan up and down, but it also does go up into this upper section, which I do want to draw more attention to with the conclusion, because I do have some thoughts about this on preferred layout for, you know, my advice maybe, but it's all going to come down to you, but we will get to that. Now, there is a panel here. You can remove this panel, pop it out, and then move this back panel downwards. So effectively you're going to move the motherboard tray down and this panel goes up here. I don't think you really need to on this, and I'll explain why in a bit, but the option is there should you want to. No vertical mount built in, so you're going to need to get an additional one to do it if you want to. I think a lot of you kind of will as well, because it's a beautiful way to display your hardware. But we'll get more on the inside in a minute. When we come around the back, you can see that you've got the power supply mount out here, and it kind of hangs out the back a bit, and it's like they've run out of room, but they wanted to still allow you to have big power supplies. Now, the rear panel here is vented, no dust filters or anything like that with it, so you're going to have to see how you get on with dust, really. But you can see that even the ridge down the side of the back panel is still vented, and it is the bit at the back here for the power supply. And as you can see, it kind of pokes out a little bit. It's pretty cool that they've gone to such lengths to be able to still allow you airflow. Now, you can see that you've got some 2.5-inch hard drive mounts here. You can see PC Master Race, because it is a PC Master Race collaboration in the design stages. So now we've got DeBauer cases from Lian Li and PC Master Races cases from Lian Li, and it does show their continued support of the enthusiast market. I only think that it would have been nice if they could have sent this separately, because you can remove this back panel, and I think a lot of us might want to have placed that somewhere else. Like, I think it could have even been nice to have gone on one of the glass sections. I'm one of the people that would probably end up removing this anyway, but it's going to kind of depend on what you guys want to do at home. As you can see, it can come off nice and easily. Then round the back, you've got these removable 3.5-inch hard drive bays. These would be something, again, that I personally would be pulling out to allow for extra stuff in the back. I popped it off too much then. As you can see, very easily removable, really not difficult, just a couple of thumb screws, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Now, you can see when you get round to the back panel behind the motherboard tray, there's no direct access to the motherboard tray to be able to install CPU backplates or anything like that. So that's going to be something that you're going to need to pop these thumb screws out like you were moving the motherboard tray up or down, fit your motherboard and everything, and then pop everything back in. I will show you in a bit how easy it is to get it to be removed. You've got some nice Velcro tie downs, although I think it would have been nice to have had a few more underneath the CPU tray so that you could have hidden stuff that little bit more. I also think that in reality, when we zoom in, it would have been nice to have had some grommets down here, because when you've got your cables down here and they're all tidied up, all nice, it would have been nice that we didn't have to see anything going through, because effectively you will be able to see the cables. Come on, Tom. You will be able to see the cables. So it would have been nice to have had something here to hide it. You could do it quite easily with plasticard, depending on how much stuff you end up putting through it. But I think that's going to be one of the areas that might get tidied up by the modders at home, you know, people that like to customize things. Anyway, there's another Velcro tab up here. There are grommets up on this very top section. I would have liked to have seen them here as well, if I'm completely honest. Now, I've put the thumb screw in here. I think this might have just fallen out of the case when I got it. But you can pull that and then remove this rear radiator tray. Now, this radiator tray can take up to a 360mm radiator, and depending on how you fit it, depends on the thickness of the radiator that you can have, because you could effectively have the radiator back here and then you're going to get probably 45 to 50mm maximum room behind here, and then you could put your fans on the other side. Or what you can do, and I have to remember to pull rather than push, you can fit it this way around, which will not allow you any room on this side to put fans, but on the other side, you're just at the grace of how far you want to go in before the lower fan mounts. And that could be over 120mm before you start encroaching on the inside internal floor radiator. So we'll pop the back panel back on just so that you can see it. I keep getting a little bit stuck with my one up on the top corner, and it does require a little bit more of a push, but once it's home, it's not going to come off. As you can see, it just takes that little bit of nestling. It is something that isn't really going to matter because you're not pulling it on and off all of the time, and at least you know it's not going to rattle or anything, because it is a nice positive fit once it is there. Now, the side panel, as you can see, very big, lovely glass. This top section, lots and lots of glass. Front panel, lots and lots of glass. But the thing to remember here is no roof fans at all. So there is no vertical exhaust. All you've got is a way for air to come in or out in the bottom, in the side, and then one in the back. So this is why I was saying about this rear fan. I personally think that the best way is going to be air in the bottom through the dust filter, out the side, no dust filter, out the back. And that's why I said about this rear section, because I would put my rear fan right the way up to the top so that you have a way of getting the air out. You can completely remove the top panel to allow you nice and lots of access to get in here to build very complex water cooling setups if you want. I actually think that part of me ends up liking this as kind of like a bare frame and pulling the front off as well, and it's just a shame that there wasn't the option to be able to make trim panels to be able to cover it all up. But I am just going to remove the screws, as I said about, for the motherboard tray. And it is literally 3 screws and you can remove the motherboard tray in its entirety. Fit your motherboard, put your back panel and everything on for your CPU cooler, whatever one you've got. You've obviously got extra clips here where you can move things around, fit hard drives and stuff. There's like multiple options, but I wouldn't, there is the option to move the motherboard tray downwards, but as I've said, because of this rear fan, I probably wouldn't. I'd probably leave it nice and high. Now with everything off, what we can do is show you some radiators. Now this is a 360mm radiator. It is 60mm thick. So you could say that is a 30mm radiator with some fans fitted. I can show you what the actual thickness would look like, but I don't have a 360 with fans fitted. So there's lots of room below the motherboard tray to be able to get a thick rad in should you wish. That also does mean that you could get a thick rad with fans fitted in the back with ample room. I would suggest that there's room down here to go push-pull should you want, and then it's still going to be loads of room before even this lower one. The lower fan, the lower radiator, yes, that is 60mm there, but really the limitations are going to be where you want your graphics card. So if I was to go and grab a graphics card, if you're going for vertical, then you've obviously got a lot more room for radiators. If you're going if you're going horizontal, you've got a lot more room for radiators. If you're going vertical, then you're going to have to be slightly more careful with where you want to go with it. I personally think a bottom radiator with a vertical is just going to look the nuts. You obviously could go full water cooling with this, with lots of radiators. I think you're going to be missing the point if you end up going with air on this, and definitely not with an AIO over here. I do think this is the kind of perfect setup for someone that is going to go full in with water cooling. And that's where I did want to say to you about the fans, because the uni fans are immensely popular with the modding community, but they have done reverse blade fans now. So effectively you can have your intakes looking like they are exhausting, but they're not. So it just keeps everything that little bit tidier. So effectively, I'll put them back over there because I have a few loose. You could just have your fans looking like they're blowing out, but they're not, and then again those ones could be blowing out. So it just means that you get the lighting with the fans. It means that you get the same kind of look, but with the fans doing very different jobs. The reason why the fans are here is a project of mine that's going on in the background that you'll see soon, but I did just want to show you the possible layouts and how much of a difference it does make that you can remove everything as you're going along and you don't have to worry. It's going to make doing your hardline bends and everything so much easier. So I know people are now shouting at me about building in it and testing in it, but at the end of the day, I do think this deserved a full, crazy, like mental build, the sort of thing that Stuart Tonks would do at GGF. but I just haven't got the time, and I know I haven't really done it justice. I'm fully aware of that. We don't need to be chucking hate. But what I did want to do is give you a look around it and show you that this is really a blank canvas, and you at home that buy it are going to be the artist. The only minor drawback is the beautiful glass top does mean there are no possible roof fans, which is why I thought, from my point of view, in the bottom, out the side, and with a very high fan at the top to allow any kind of hot air that builds up here to be able to be exhausted, would probably be the way forward. You can get a 420 radiator in the bottom. I wasn't specific about that. And you can put a 280 in the side, but there's no room for a 420 there. I'd probably go 360, and then it's only really the thicknesses that you need to kind of think about and decide with. I do think mixing the normal unifans with the reverse unifans is going to be the way forward. I also think that there's going to be so many people that are going to moan at you about everything set to exhaust. When you start using the reverse blade fans, it will just be comical. So maybe these could be the way forward. Now, it is an immensely beautiful case, and the fact that they've managed to do this and keep the price below £150, I think is epic. When I first got it, I was genuinely at the point where I'm like, oh, this is just going to be for kind of like show-off builds, and it might not be the sort of thing that you're going to end up running at home on a daily basis. But if you choose your cooling route correctly, I don't think it will hamper things too much. Definitely if you end up with water, you're going to be okay. If you're going air cooling, it might be a bit squiffy, because if you're going to end up running your CPU cooler, running with the exhaust out this way, what are you going to do with the side fans? Like, are they going to be fighting for air? I think it could get a little bit complex. An AIO at a push in the side, maybe exhausting the air out that way, and then fans down here to cool your graphics card, maybe. And it could be a nice step into the case, hoping that you're going to upgrade to water cooling later on. But I do think that the best use for this will be someone that is going to treat this like a frame for an amazing piece of water cooling art. So congratulations to Lian Li. I'm going to give this the OC3D Enthusiast Award. I have to be honest, I was torn between aesthetics, as in ultimate aesthetics, looks very nice, and an enthusiast. But I think that with this, it is an enthusiast product. You're going to know it's got a few caveats. You're going to know it's not quite perfect, but what you're going to do at home is make it perfect for you. So please forgive me for not building in it. I did want to spend some time with it though, and hopefully inspire you guys at home. Please let me know your thoughts underneath. Like, subscribe, comment, and all of that. But do just think to yourself that if you do get this, maybe think about the uni fans with the reverse and the normal fans as well. And one of the reasons why I'm like apologetic about this is the sort of thing that I would love to spend 3 or 4 days working on. And I just don't have the time at the moment, and it annoys me, because I would love to do more with this, and it might be one that I'll put in a cupboard and then come back to in a little bit when the crazy times have calmed down. But congratulations to Lian Li, congratulations to the PC Master Race, cracking case. I'm going to really look forward to seeing what everyone at home that buys it does with it.